Today we're making baked tofu bites. I believe you have the recipes in your notebooks. Baked tofu bites. So we have two boxes of, you want to read that?
Organic tofu,
Organic tofu.
non-GMO,
Extra firm?
This one is firm, but you could use either extra firm, or medium firm. It's okay. I prefer the drier form. So what you do then, you cut it open, drain the water, and then at home you can use a towel to wrap it and squeeze out the excess water. And then I like to cut it into cubes like this, about 1 inch cubes. So we're going to make a sauce in a separate bowl. This is a 1/4 cup of,
different amino on here.
yes, that one.
Different amino.
Yes,
Soy sauce, healthy soy sauce.
healthy soy sauce. And then this is a 1/4 cup of
Nutritional yeast.
nutritional yeast, and that looks like this, nutritional yeast.
What difference?
I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, so we're going to put that in this small bowl here, and then here is a tablespoon of
Garlic powder, granulated.
granulated, it looks like.
I guess we got it from Loma market.
Yes, granulated powder.
Granulated garlic. If the powder, they tend to come together.
Yeah, the granulated, they don't stick together, so it's better. So, you know, I always cook with chopsticks, so I kind of stir a little bit, make a sort of paste. So I have about a 1/4 cup of water in here, but no more than a 1/4 cup because I prefer the drier form. So we could just pour this in, kind of make a paste.
You can see she's a Chinese, use chopsticks.
Yes, and he's a Chinese cook, but he uses left hand. So we could, that's all, so simple. You know, so after today, I hope some of you will be brave enough to try it. It's so simple. That's the sauce. So all we do then is to pour the sauce in here. Pour the sauce. So I try to retain the color, the whole piece as much as possible. So that's it. Then they just kind of gently mix it together. And that's it. Then we're just going to set it aside for about 20 minutes. About 20 minutes to marinate. Now, I think the longer you marinate, it tastes better. So if you want to do overnight, we'll be fine. And so we'll just put this aside here. Now I already have some that's marinated. That's already marinated. So now you can help me.
Okay.
We're going to put this in a baking pan. And I like to line it with parchment paper just because it's easier to clean. So there's parchment paper already here. And all we need to do then, you'll help me, transfer these cubes in the pan. I don't put them too close together because I like crispier. But if you like less crispy, then you could pack them together. So we're just kind of putting them like a 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch apart. And that's it. Then we bake it at 375 degrees for about half an hour. And in the middle of it, maybe 15 minutes into the baking, you want to turn it over to the other side. And till where it turns kind of golden brown color. And if you like crispier as I do, then I turn the oven to high broil. Another broil like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes to your liking. That's it, so simple. As I mentioned, tofu is a transitional food. The good thing about tofu is that it has no taste by itself. So you can make it sweet, you can make it sour, you can make it spicy, salty, any way you want. It's just very, very adaptable.
Fresh garlic can be used, but this one in powder form, so it's much easier. It has basically same, it's just dehydrated, so same property as the fresh garlic, but in powder form, very easy.
Are there any advantage to using
Now
raw?
last time we talked about garlic, you remember? I gave you the benefits of garlic, using the word garlic as acronym. G, good for many things. A, antioxidant. I think antioxidant is very, very important for all the killer diseases that Dr. Dio mentioned. R for restoration. Now, any of you remember restoration of what? This lady said memory. That's very good. She must have eaten some garlic before. Yeah. Then L, life extension. There's a lot of studies, animal studies mainly, and a lot of epidemiological studies showing people eat garlic usually have a longer lifespan. And I for immune modulation, and C for cancer prevention and cholesterol lowering.
Thank you, that's great. So,
Then what the other ingredient have? Oh, nutritional yeast.
yes, I'm going to talk about that.
Oh, you're going to talk about
Yeah, so now you're done with your job. If you don't mind, go take it to the
I'll take it to
kitchen.
the kitchen.
Yes.
And my job's done?
Your job is done. So take it to the kitchen, and they'll know how to bake it.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. And here, why don't you take this to the kitchen too? We'll take it to the kitchen, let it marinate and bake.
All right.
All right, very good. Okay, so they're going to finish baking. They already have some that's prepared already. We will serve for you in just a few minutes. But I want to talk, I mentioned earlier, I'm very excited. Now I want to tell you why. Because today I want you to share with you a word, excitotoxins. Excito sounds exciting, but excitotoxins are extremely destructive. Extremely destructive. Before I go on, I want to ask you a question. This is nutritional yeast. So I want to ask you a question. Does anyone know the difference between nutritional yeast and yeast extract? Any idea? Okay. Nutritional yeast, they're totally different, okay? One is very good. Yeast extract is very, very bad. Okay, let me tell you why. Nutritional yeast is a natural yeast. It's grown on molasses. It's full of nutrients. Let me just say a few quickly. Nutritional yeast has lots of protein, all the essential amino acids, lots of B vitamins, including B12. Nutritional yeast will enhance your immune functions. Nutritional yeast also controls cholesterol levels. Nutritional yeast can prevent cancer and stroke. So this is good. Yeast extract, on the other hand, is terribly bad for us. Yeast extract is made by concentrating the yeast cell proteins. Concentrating the yeast cell proteins. So the yeast cell proteins are very high in glutamic acid. Because of the high glutamic acid level, yeast extract is an excitotoxin. That's the word I want to share, excitotoxins. So, what's wrong with excitotoxins? They destroy our brain cells. Excitotoxins destroy our brain cells. Any food that you eat with excitotoxins, they will destroy your neurons. Let's say if a pregnant mother eats excitotoxins, her baby will be born with low birth rate, with several birth defects. Some babies will suffer seizures, and some may develop brain tumors. How about children and adults? When they eat excitotoxin food, children can experience hyperactivity, ADHD. Many have learning disabilities. Adults, similar. They may develop headaches, migraines, high blood pressure, eye problems. In time, excitotoxins will cause memory loss, will cause dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and numerous neurodegenerative diseases. Some people are sensitive to excitotoxins, and they may experience some discomfort right after eating foods with excitotoxins. Some may not feel any symptoms until the next day or a few days later. And there are some of us that really don't feel any difference when they eat excitotoxin food. They don't feel bad. But often, the damage will not show up until many, many years later. But, this is what I want you to hear, but the toxic damage is cumulative. The toxic damage is cumulative from excitotoxin food. In other words, whenever you eat a food with excitotoxins, your brain cells will begin to die. So, most of you have heard of MSG, right? That is an excitotoxin. And I mentioned earlier about yeast extract, that's excitotoxin. But you know, food manufacturers are required to label MSG or yeast extract, but they're very smart. Now they use disguised names. Today there are maybe 35 to 40 disguised MSG or excitotoxin like foods. For instance, sometimes the labels will say natural seasoning, natural flavor. Sometimes it will say spices, broth. Some names may sound quite healthy. Calcium caseinate. Oh, I'm getting some calcium. Sodium caseinate. Oh, I'm getting some casein. Whey protein. These are all excitotoxins. One of the excitotoxins that really I want to put across among us Asians is mushroom seasonings. Mushroom seasoning is a very toxic excitotoxin, mushroom seasonings. Then a couple other, it's hard to pronounce, I will say them anyway. Disodium inosinate, disodium guanylate. These two are used so often in Asian foods, such as, some of you may have them today, I don't know, top ramen, instant noodles, the pressed soybean curd, in Chinese we say tofu gan. They all contain these excitotoxins. But okay, you said, all right, I don't need those things. Potato chips, loaded with excitotoxins. Cheese, Dr. Deal, all processed cheese, Parmesan cheese that we sprinkle your spaghetti, cheeses, your pizzas, etc. Common food among teenagers, adults, every party you have pizza. These are all containing excitotoxins. That is the reason they're so addictive. So, my message is this, very simple. Please, when you buy groceries, take time to read labels. Nearly all processed food, I want to say all, but let me just say, nearly all processed foods contain excitotoxins. All. Things that come in cans, in bottles, in jars, bags, frozen, wrapped, nearly all of them. So all processed foods, I would say, contain excitotoxins. So the bottom line is this. Read labels, number one. Number two, eat unprocessed, whole, plant-based foods. Unprocessed. Unprocessed, okay? Whole foods. Dr. Deal like to say, foods as grown. That's it.
Now, I want you to bring your attention to, in your binder, I have given you how to understand and use the nutritional facts label. Okay? So, look into that. That's a guideline. And then also on your second page, you should have your schedule for the whole program. Pay attention to that. Okay? Now, I think there's one question for you. What are the conditions to qualify for the graduation exercise? All right, it's very simple. Because of the pandemic, some people is concerned of coming, to join as a big group. It's an honor system. I trust you. If you cannot be in person, but if you watch the YouTube, you text me or write me, I've watched that series on that, I take your word for it. I'm not a policeman, because we will give you the certificate, okay? And we will have your graduation. Dun, 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 dun. So we have all those rooms, but you must at least attend. We have 9 sessions, but you must at least attend 7 of the 9. But if you are not in person, you tell me you saw it there, I trust you. Because you don't want to fool yourself. If you don't look at it, you say you did look at it, you're missing some information. So far, so good? Okay, thank you for that. Now, just now earlier, I was just saying about the jumpstart. And I was talking about the Zoom meeting that we have a meeting on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We have about 25 people that join the Jumpstart. And I do take records because I'm a very particular person of attendance. Every time when I have a Zoom meeting with someone else, always at the end of it, I say, turn on your video, I want to take a picture. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next Saturday, 2 p.m. Okay? Thank you.